This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't know you have. The sources of our information come from the website onthisday.com and the smart device applications, historical calendar, and a day in history. For links to these sources and anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar of the description below, and all links gathered throughout the show will appear post-live stream as per usual. Anyway, I am Xander, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm joined by King's Refuge. He's here, but he's not reacting to anything. I've tried to talk to him before the show. He's muted. He's browsing Facebook. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure if he can hear me, if his headphones are off, or what. But anyway, you viewer, of course, are you. Thank you very much for coming in, watching us, whether it's live or at some point, later on in the space-time continuum is irrelevant. A view is a view, and I greatly appreciate it. Anyway, today is Sun's Day, aka Sunday, July 14th, 2024. So let's start off on the history here. Starting up in 982, we have King Otto II and his Frankish army were defeated in pitched battle with Muslim army of Al-Khazim at Cape Colonna, southern Italy. Moving on up into 1077, Bayeux tapestry likely first went on display to decorate the nave during the consecration of Notre Dame of Bayeux Cathedral in Bayeux, Normandy. So what is this Bayeux tapestry? Let's take a look at this. 1077 Bayeux tapestry. Let's open up Ecosia. What the hell is Element anyway? Is this another video sharing site? I'm not sure, but it's not loading. So anyway, let's check this out here. The Bayeux tapestry. Images. Okay, so, just a tapestry depicting some kind of battle. Is my internet being a poop nugget? Not entirely sure. Yeah, so this is the Bayeux tapestry. Depicts some guy impaled on a spear here, some guy over here looking to be flying through the air. It's a battle. There's some kind of battle going on. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1570, Pope Pius V introduced a standardized Roman Missal, a text of the Latin Mass, a reform of the Council of Trent. This will remain unchanged for 400 years. Wow. That's impressive, to have something last that long. 1581, English Jesuit priest Edmund Campion was arrested for sedition in Anglian Island. He was later hung, drawn, and quartered. That is... you're hanged, and then drawn and quartered means that, you're cut down this way and then you're cut in half. You're turned into quarters. And drawn and quartered, actually, I believe, they don't just cut you, but in some circumstances, they tie your hands and your feet each to a different horse going different directions and then sets them off and you just, rip apart. What an execution. We should bring that back, and do that to certain people in politics that we're sick of. Anyway, moving on up to 1698, the Darien scheme began with 5 ships bearing about 1,200 people departing Leith for the Isthmus of Panama. The Darien scheme. What is this Darien scheme? Let's take a look at this here. The Darien scheme. Let's see. It was an unsuccessful attempt, backed largely by investors of the Kingdom of Scotland, to gain wealth and influence by establishing New Caledonia, a colony in the Darien Gap on the Isthmus of Panama in the late 1690s. The plan was for the colony located in the Gulf or on the Gulf of Darien to establish and manage an overland route to connect to the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. The backers knew that the first sighting of the Pacific Ocean by Balboa was after crossing the isthmus through Darien. The expedition was it also claimed sovereignty over Crab Isle, modern-day Vieques, Puerto Rico, in 1698, yet sovereignty was short-lived. The attempt at settling the area did not go well. More than 80% of the population of the participants died within a year, and the settlement was abandoned twice. Reminds me a lot of Roanoke. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Golden Loon here.
Yeah. So yeah, you just walked in when I was halfway reading through all this.
Yes. No.
So to recap what this was, 1698, the Darien scheme began with 5 ships bearing about 1,200 people departing Leith for the Isthmus of Panama. So they were trying to establish a settlement, on that Isthmus of Panama, and it failed. Obviously, as you heard, the latter half of that explanation right there. But yeah, let's see here. What else do we got? Let me move this around over here. 1769, the De Portia expedition established a base in California and set out to find the port of Monterey, which is now Monterey, California.
Yeah.
Hey,
Ooh, California.
yeah. And like we've been to Monterey, right? Like that's where one like little expedition was, like where, like like they had like the fish and all that stuff, and I was like I was involved asking questions.
Oh yes. It's a marine.
Yeah.
But it was tied into the ocean. It's really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
1771, Mission San Antonio de Padua was founded in California, so another Californian thing there.
Yeah.
Mission de San Antonio de Padua. Where would that possibly be? Let's take a look at this here really quick.
I wonder if the El Camino Real was established in 79. I'm sure it was. It's got to be probably on the El Camino Real.
When was El Camino Real established? El Camino Real, California. Let's see here. The highway?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. 600 mile, yada yada yada. Spanish, Mexican era. The Portola expedition, 1769.
Okay. That's
So
close enough.
yeah. Then we have 1775 to 76. There's a bunch of, so we can at least date this as far back as 1769.
The mission in San Juan Capistrano where the swallows come back to. That's part of the highway.
Yeah.
One of the stopovers where people could spend the night.
I wonder if that's a bucket list destination for common females, in California, because that's where all the swallows go.
Oh.
Horrible joke. Moving on up into 1789, we have Bastille Day. The French Revolution began with the storming of the Bastille prison in Paris, which is now celebrated as France's National Day.
Oh,
so
Bastille Day.
Yeah, so like the beginning of their next step in their political journey, going from the bourgeois and the royalty to the voice of the people.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting, if it wasn't for France, there would not be a U.S. But if it wasn't for that, there would not be a France as we know today.
Yeah, true.
Because the French helped us with our revolution, and then the people were like, "Hey, why don't we try that?" And they did, and it succeeded.
There's so many steps along the way.
Well, obviously, I'm abridging the hell out of it.
Yes, so, of course. But it's a fun thought.
Yeah, and by extension, if it wasn't for France, there wouldn't be a U.S., and if it wasn't for U.S., there would not be an Australia as we know it today. So,
yeah.
Moving on up into 1790, just 1 year later, the Fête de la Fédération, attended by Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, was held across France on the first anniversary of the French Revolution. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's, for those who know history, that is a huge, there's a dark cloud over that.
Yeah.
Because we all know what happened to these people.
Yeah, we do.
They got the guillotine next.
Yeah.
And actually,
of course, the most famous, I think, is Marie Antoinette.
Oh yeah, of course. But what's really interesting is very much like the creator of the bronze bull. You know what the bronze bull was?
What?
It was a torture device. It was like a life-size bull, or actually, I think maybe even bigger. It was a statue made of bronze of a bull.
Okay.
And what you did was you put somebody in there, lock it up, light a fire underneath.
Oh, jeez.
And then the whales, there's a tube up to the mouth that sounds like the cow is mooing.
Oh man.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is that the first person to be put in that was the creator of the damn thing.
Oh, jeez.
Now, very much, this is why I brought it up. The inventor of the guillotine, wasn't the first one, but he eventually was killed by his own creation. He was executed by the people, by his own creation.
Grief.
Could you imagine,
Yeah.
being the inventor of something and having that be your end? Yikes.
Yeah, not good.
Moving on up into 1795, the French National Convention. Actually, no, hold on a second. Moving on, 1791. The Priestley riots drove Joseph Priestley, a supporter of the French Revolution, out of Birmingham, England. All right. So, this is England and all that stuff. And they never really much cared for the French. even today, like, they're not hostile towards each other anymore, but even today there's still a bit of a, rivalry going on. So, 1795, the French National Convention decreed La Marseillaise by Claude Joseph Regat's de France's national anthem.
Yikes! You destroyed that, but I don't blame you.
Well, I don't speak French.
No. Good luck with that.
See, here's the
thing. You did better than I did.
Here's the thing. Whenever somebody says, like, oh, blah, blah, you butchered it, or, oh, well, you don't know how to speak, I'm like, can you do any better?
Yeah, good luck.
Like you're so quick to judge me.
Yeah.
Let's see you do it.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Here's the microphone.
I would do worse.
Yeah.
I'd just say that guy and move on.
Yeah.
Or girl.
So, let this be as a lesson to everybody watching. Before you point the finger, point it at yourself. So, 1798, we have the first direct U.S. federal tax on states enacted to finance military buildup. Dwelling lands and slaves are subject to tariff. Wow. 1798.
Yeah.
The first U.S. direct tax.
Yeah.
So, and slaves subject to tariff.
Wow.
Different times, man. While that was happening at the same time, U.S. Sedition Act prohibits, quote, false, scandalous, and malicious, end quote, writing against the government. And who determines what is fake news?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is sedition, this is slanderous. Is it? Or is it just against, what you believe, and you want to silence them?
Yeah.
So, 1882, this was the date planned for the slave revolt in Charleston, South Carolina, by Denmark Vesey and Peter Poyes. Denmark was the name of the person. No, I'm not talking about the country, Denmark.
Yeah.
His name was Denmark.
Right.
So, this plot had already been uncovered in June. So what
was this plot about?
It was a slave revolt.
Okay.
It was they were planning to revolt on this date, but
Yeah.
it was uncovered, and obviously it didn't happen.
Right.
So, which is unfortunate, but fortunate at the same time. I mean, I'm not someone who is like a proponent of violence, but at the same time, even a cornered mouse fights.
When it's cornered, mouse fights when it's cornered.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Even a cornered mouse fights.
Yeah.
It's the same thing said differently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on up into 1823, Switzerland signed boundaries for fugitives. What the hell does that even mean? Boundaries for fugitives? Is that like?
I have no idea.
This is just telling me the timeline of Swiss history, but like I want to know exactly. Like, is this for a penal colony or something? Like. Please don't tell me this isn't like a gun-free zone or something where. Yeah,
Not
that
back
works.
Then, I can't imagine that.
Well, I mean, like in the same vein, like boundaries for fugitives. Oh, if you're a fugitive, you can't do this. They're already a fugitive. They're already breaking the law. You really think they're going to follow anything else? Are you out of your mind? Anyway, 1845, first postmaster's provisional stamps issued in New York City.
Oh, stamps.
Yeah, first postmaster's provisional stamps specifically. So, 5 years later, we have the first public demonstration of ice made by refrigeration by Florida physician John Gorey.
Oh, wow. What year again?
1850. And of course, Florida.
They need it.
Yeah, they do. So, 1853, New Zealand held its first general election.
Oh, okay.
All right. And while that was going on, U.S. President Franklin Pierce opened the, quote, exhibition of the industry of all nations, end quote, which was a World's Fair at the Crystal Palace in New York City, which is now the site of Byron Park. So if anybody knows where Byron Park is, this is where this World Fair was. And actually, let me look this up here really quick. And did we ever figure out where this last one, Mission de San Antonio de Padua?
No idea.
I'm not sure. It's giving me some maps, but it's not showing me really where it's at. So, but anyway, let's look this up here. Byron Park. Pardon me. Byron Park map.
And does it exist today?
Well, yeah, it does. It's Byron Park.
Yeah.
So as soon as this map loads, so this right here.
There it is.
Now, I don't think that this was all of the land that was used. Obviously, back in 1853, they didn't have things as densely packed as they do today in Manhattan. So,
Right.
But any of the land left, it's now the site of
Central
Byron
Park right above it, right?
Yes,
I mean,
up
that's
here.
a long ways off.
Yeah.
It looks real close on the map, but that's...
Oh, we have walked the blocks of New York, and they're not short.
Man, you can... all of a sudden you realize, wow, this is a long ways.
Yeah, it is. 1864, gold was discovered in Helena, Montana.
Gold.
They're gold in them non-Helena.
Gold fever.
Yep. 365 days later, in 1865, English mountaineer Edward Whymper led the first expedition to climb the Matterhorn. Ford died on the descent.
Jeez.
So the first to climb the Matterhorn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've ridden in it.
Well,
Not the same one.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amusement park Matterhorn. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, except ours has a Yeti. Yeah. And a basketball court.
What?
Yeah, there's a half court. Because of zoning laws or something, like there had to, because of like the size and the height of the structure or something, it can't just be an open structure. So they put a basketball court like somewhere inside the Matterhorn to legally allow it to be built. Like here, let me look this up.
I never heard that. This is history to me.
Basketball courts in Matterhorn at Disneyland. Let's see here. The secret basketball court hidden inside Disneyland's Matterhorn Mountain. Let's see here. Since 1959, the Matterhorn, yada yada yada. The first episode. Okay, come on, tell me.
Well, it tells us enough right there.
Yeah.
That it's in there.
Yeah.
Secret basketball court. That's amazing.
But the backstage area beneath the facade was space to spare. Disney employees set up a half court with one basketball hoop in the structure's pinnacle. Okay, so maybe it wasn't because of legal reasons, but they had just empty space, so they filled it.
Yeah, hey, let's make a basketball court
yeah.
So we can play during lunch breaks or after hours, whatever.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a half court in the Matterhorn.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do we got here? 1865, the Chickasaw Nation was the last of the 5 tribes to surrender to the Union following the Confederate defeat. So this is during the Civil War. Yeah. And I believe both sides had Native Americans fighting as belligerents just to, have additional numbers and stuff like that.
Well, they're seasoned warriors, that's for sure.
Yeah. 1868, Alvin J. Fellows of New Haven, Connecticut, patented the tape measure.
Oh.
Hey. I used to have one up here, but not anymore. So, 1870, the United States Congress granted Mary Todd Lincoln a life pension in the amount of $3,000 a year. And this is, it has to be after his assassination. When was Lincoln assassinated?
Right in there somewhere. Year before, year after, or that year.
April 14th, 1865. So this is 5 years later.
Well, what year is this?
1865, 1870.
Oh, okay. I thought that said 1865.
No, we've been through 1865.
Yeah, okay.
Now we're in 1870. So this is 5 years
after. Yeah.
Yeah, this is 5 years later. 1877, General Strike brought U.S. Railroad to a standstill. Yeah, that would happen.
No, that's not surprising.
Yeah. 1877, we got that. 1886, the Temple Street Cable Railway began cable car service in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
Temple Street. Now, here's something a lot of people don't know, is that, and it's not like they're hidden or anything, but I'm not sure if it's in every city, in every town, in every hamlet, in any form of civilization in the country, of the United States, there is a Freemason lodge. There's a temple.
That I can believe.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly where the one is in Orange. I've been by it.
Oh.
It's right on the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's a Masonic temple in every city, in every town, in every, metropolitan area, no matter how big or small. There's the Masons have.
Yeah.
So that makes me think Temple Street, Masons.
Yeah. Could have been where the original temple was downtown.
Yep, exactly. So, moving on up to 1891, American John T. Smith patented the corkboard.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually have one right here.
There it is.
Yeah, and actually, this is the thumbnail. The corkboard, over a century old and still the same.
You can't do much with it.
No. It's kind of like a technological tree dead end or something like. Moving on up into the 1900s, in 1902, the Campanile in St. Mark's Square, Venice, collapsed, also demolishing the Lagata, reconstructed in 1912. So the Campanile, I think that was that's a huge tower, right?
I have no idea what it is.
But you know Venice, the city of Venice, the
Oh, I
floating
know
city.
of Venice. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we did.
I don't know the layout of it. Is that the tower you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like it's an iconic structure in Venice, this skyline, this tower. So the tower collapsed in 1902, and then it was reconstructed in 1912. But you recognize this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Campanile.
Okay, I have no idea.
And here's a picture of it,
Oh,
collapsed.
jeez.
And here's a picture of it collapsing,
Holy cow.
like as soon as it loads. Like, so wow. Like it just.
How close to the originals they built this one?
I would say it has to be a 1-to-1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
they
like,
duplicated it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, like it looks like it's from the 1700s, despite
Yeah.
being rebuilt in 1912. So.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they generally rebuild these things to look like the way they were before, you know? So, 1914, U.S. engineer Robert Goddard was granted the first patent for liquid fuel rocket design. That is big.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah. And now we use solid fuel, right? Like, liquid fuel is a lot more dangerous.
I believe so, yeah.
So,
I don't know the differences, to tell you the truth, but yeah, we do use solid fuel.
rocket technology in 1914.
Wow.
Before World War One.
Wow.
We
Yes.
and we used missiles in World War One. You know, like the rocket. Well, we've used like rockets and missile technology, like
Didn't World War I start
For-
in 1914?
I think yeah, it did.
Doesn't matter.
It did.
I mean, you know,
No,
yeah.
I remember it was 4 years. It ended in 1918. So by
Yeah.
mathematics, it has to have been.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right.
But still, that's still amazing.
Yeah.
Developed liquid fuel.
Actually, what's interesting is that World War One hadn't yet started in 1914. I remember they had it 4 years to the day, because you know you've probably heard this, the 11th hour of the 11th day.
Yeah.
You know,
talked
of the
about
11th month. You know how humans are. They like to be cheeky. So they ended it on the same exact date when it came out, November 11th.
that. I misread this. I thought it was patent liquid fuel, but no, it's liquid fueled rocket that was patented.
Yeah.
It's the rocket. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like the fuel has to already be existing.
Yeah,
You can't.
exactly.
Now here's something really interesting. The elevator shaft was invented before the elevator.
I bet you it wasn't called an elevator shaft.
Well, but whatever. Like, there's a video about this actually.
Huh.
But it was initially a round design and not the square one,
Oh.
because like this guy, he was building a hotel and he knew, like he didn't know exactly the elevator, but he knew something like that was coming.
Oh.
So before that device was even invented, he built a cylindrical
He's
shaft
looking ahead.
because he knew that was coming.
And if he didn't put in some kind of an LRD, his building would very quickly be dated.
Not more than any other of the other buildings around at the time. He was the very first one.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He was a kind of a visionary.
Yeah.
of it.
He knew the elevator was coming, but he didn't know the shape. He didn't know it was going to be called the elevator. Didn't know
Yeah.
about cable technique. He just knew something, because stairs. Eventually,
Yeah.
we got escalators. We got automatic stairs. But once again, another scientific evolution dead end. What more can you do with stairs? You can make them move. That's about it.
Well, without
So-
elevators, you're limited on how high you're going to go, even with escalators,
Yeah.
because of time. You're not going to take 3 hours to get to the top because of escalators.
And what's really interesting is before elevators became commonplace and all that stuff, initially the lower floors were reserved for the mucky mucks.
Yeah, I
You know?
can believe that.
Yeah. Because it was easier to get to.
Yeah.
And so can you imagine being an entry level person, and you have to climb all the way, but then you got the best view of the house.
Yeah, you got the view extraordinaire up there. If
Moving-
you made it.
Yeah.
Right.
Also in 1914, Rolex received the first wristwatch Class A certificate from Kew Observatory.
I don't know what
Rolex.
Class A, but yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously better than Class B.
Yeah.
So,
So that's got to be awesome.
yeah, I mean, Rolex, is...
Still quality today.
Yep.
Still Class A.
We also have in 1914 as well, the National League Boston Braves start climb from last place to World Series sweep. What a turnaround. Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. They later became the Atlanta Braves.
Ah. It's no sports team, loyal to their host city.
Well,
I mean, come
you
on.
got to remember, as they're
I know
developing,
they're all being traded and all that stuff.
well,
money.
no, they're going to go out of business, so they move to another area where there's more
Yeah.
population to support it. There's 100 reasons. Especially now they're so established. They still move once in a while, though.
Yeah. 1916, 13.2 inches or 33.6 centimeters of rainfall in Effingham, South Carolina. What a name, Effingham. Like, I live in fucking Ham. Like, what do you mean, Effingham? This was the state record until 1999.
Wow. That's got to be a 24-hour period, right?
I'd assume so.
Yeah.
Other than that, that one article we had where
For the year, not so much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like that one article we had where it rained like 26 inches in like a minute or something crazy. Were you there?
No, I remember something about it.
That was crazy. I mean, that's not rain. That's
heavier than
literally
a shower.
That's literally an ocean. It like just appears,
Yeah.
manifests, like right there.
How
like
much liquid can come out of the sky,
well, apparently that much.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
let's see. 1916 as well. St. Louis Brown Ernie Koob pitched all 17 innings for 14 hits in a 0-0 tie versus Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park. Wow, that's one
Fenway's
hell of
been
a
around
pitcher.
forever, still playing out.
Oh
of that
yeah,
park.
which is surprising. Have they added capacity to it or whatever? Like,
They probably have over the years, but I think they're maxed out whatever they can do.
yeah, they'd have to be.
Yeah.
Like there's only so much you can add.
Well, there's
to
no
it.
more ground where they're at. I mean, they're just
Yeah.
bumper to streets all around it and everything. So I'm sure they added capacity in some way, but you still got the green monster out there. They can't change that.
Yeah. 1921, Nicola Sacco and Bartholomew Van Zetti were convicted of killing their shoe company's paymaster and sentenced to death in Dedham, Massachusetts. What a name,
Jeez.
Dedham.
Yeah.
So, we went from fucking Ham to Dedham. Oh, now they're fucking dead.
Oh man.
But wow, why would you kill your paymaster?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, like, did
Doesn't
they
sound too smart.
did they wait for the check to clear first at least? I mean,
Yeah.
1927, we have the first commercial airplane flight to Hawaii. Ooh,
Really? In what year again?
27.
Good lord.
So before that, it was boat,
Yeah, of course.
or you had to be a really good swimmer.
Really good.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure people have swum from mainland to Hawaii. Have they?
Oh, I can't imagine that being possible.
Has anyone swam to Hawaii?
From mainland.
Oh, here we go. Benoit Lecomte. Okay. Atlantic Ocean swim, the Pacific swim. He began in Japan and hoped to make the distance covered
swim around the
approximately.
world?
He expected that part of the reason why he swim was to raise awareness before he got a second goal. Okay.
There's something about California.
Lecomte was accompanied by a crew and performed a stage swim, resuming the swim in the exact location. Oh, okay, so he swam
And he took a break.
and then took a break and then
and
came
got
back.
in the water.
So,
Okay.
but he swam from California from Japan to California. It sounds like 1,700 miles of swimming.
Wow.
Yikes, dude!
That's even a longer swim.
Jeez, man.
Way longer. than
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, Japan to California, yeah. 1933, and something not surprising at all non-Nazi parties were banned in Germany. Mm-hmm.
What a thought.
Yeah. And pretty soon here, all leftist parties are going to be banned in the United States. 1933 as well, Germany began mandatory sterilization of people with hereditary illnesses.
Jeez.
Kind of like how we're, doing that to our kids. Chemical castrations and all that stuff.
Oh,
Transitioning, all that stuff. No, they're
Yeah, I got you.
1934, we have a state record which was broken on June 27th of 1994, but 116 degrees Fahrenheit or 47 Celsius in Oro Grande, New Mexico. That's hot.
A little bit warmish.
34 as well, New York Times erroneously declared Babe Ruth's 700th home run record to stand for all time. So he got his 700, home record.
Yeah.
Or home run
run.
record. And they didn't believe anybody could pass it. Well,
they did.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, records are made to be broken.
Yeah.
Much like rules, apparently. But, yeah. Anyway, 1934 as well, Philadelphia Phillies scored 11 runs in an inning, beating Cincinnati 18-0. Yikes.
Jeez.
Wow. 11 runs in an inning.
Yeah.
Like, did they just give up? Like,
that happens
how do
sometimes.
Jesus, man. I mean, I don't know anything about baseball, but I know that is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, that's
Like-
a lot. That's a lot of runs. I don't know. Probably not the most runs scored in an inning, but it's a lot.
Most runs in an inning. Let's see here. Single game records. Okay, let's see here.
Single
4
inning.
home runs in a game. Okay, but here we go. Well, this has a whole bunch of different stats here.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna.
Can't give you a simple answer.
Yeah, no, I can't. And there's something else that was on my mind for half a second that I can't remember what it was, but anyway, moving on up to 1936, 1 million people demonstrated to support French People's Front government.
1 million
What?
people.
French People's Front government. What was that? Let's take a look at that here. French People's Front government. New Popular Front. Okay. But this is 2024, so I don't want that.
No.
Remember, 1936. Give me specifically that. Popular Front, France. Okay. The Popular Front was an alliance of left-wing movements in France, including... wow. So, and they're supporting that. Yikes. I mean, well,
Okay.
it was dissolved in 1938. Thank God.
Didn't go far.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, nothing from that side of politics ever does. So, 1936 as well, we have another state record, 116 degrees Fahrenheit or 47 degrees Celsius in Collegeville, Indiana.
Oh.
Yeah. 1938, Benito Mussolini published anti-Jewish African manifesto.
What a surprise.
Yeah. And see, well, first off, people don't, like, when you think of anti-Jewish, you think of Hitler.
Yeah.
And Hitler, prided himself off of Mussolini for a little while until
Yeah.
he looked down on him and everything. But see, what would catch most people off guard is the African part. Why would Mussolini, and the Italian leader, give a tiddler's damn about what's going on with Africa? Because they had a lot of colonies there, and that's why
Yeah.
the war first started there. Because Italy, France, Spain, the United Kingdom, of course, a lot of the major powers over the past 1,000 years have built a bunch of colonies.
Yeah.
I mean, just before the outbreak of this war, Italy finished a revolt in Zimbabwe to re-ascertain control over that colony. So, yeah.
Yeah.
1940. Yep.
The significance of you don't understand
Yeah.
unless you're in the time and know history, the importance of Africa.
Exactly. 1940, due to beanball wars, Spalding advertises batting helmet with ear flaps. Ah, so you don't want to get beaned.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I didn't know it went back that far, though.
Yeah. So tell us about the beanball wars.
I don't know of them specifically. Beanball is thrown at someone's head,
Yeah.
and hence the helmets, I guess.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, you didn't have to wear a helmet.
Yeah.
Now they have not only the helmet, but the flap that comes
Yeah.
over just one ear, because
Yeah.
that's the way you're standing.
Well, I remember when I was in Little League, they had both ears covered.
Yeah.
So that way it's like it's universal.
Well,
like if you're
left-handed, right-handed, yeah.
Yeah. And and you shared all the helmets anyway. I
Right.
didn't have now, which makes me wonder. Then why didn't they have a right hand and a left hand? If they're gonna buy all those helmets, then
Well, not everybody had a helmet.
yeah,
There's maybe 3 or 4 of them for an entire team.
yeah. So why not have a couple for right, a couple left, and
Maybe.
diversify?
Yeah, it covers everything. Then you don't have to, buy different helmets. There has to be different molds from the manufacturer. Blah blah blah.
But they're already made. They're already there.
You need a different mold to make a 1-ear helmet and a 2-ear helmet.
But if you go to a sporting goods shop, they have all the options there.
I don't know.
They should. Anyway, moving on up into 1940, Lithuania became Lithuanian SSR. Uh-oh. Russia or communists. 1 year later, 6,000 Lithuanian Jews were exterminated at Vyzaliasian camp. Now, see, this is the thing. A lot of people don't seem to realize it wasn't just the Germans, killing the Jews.
Right.
It was the Russians actually arguably killed a lot more Jews than the Germans. But who was our allies at the time? Exactly.
Yeah.
And all the stuff, all the atrocities the Russians did were swept under the rug because we all had to hate on the Germans, even though Operation Paperclip brought all of the legitimate Nazi scientists. Von Braun was a legitimate Nazi, not just a guy working for them.
Yes.
He hated, he was a legitimate, Jew hater. And
I don't
fascist.
know that, but I'll
no,
believe
that's
what you
documented.
said. Okay.
I hate it when you say you'll believe what I say.
Yeah.
I
mean, I don't know firsthand. I know he was a Nazi.
Yeah, but legitimate, true blue Nazi.
Okay.
So.
There's so much correlation between that time and our time right now, as far as the hate levels go.
Oh, dude! Do you have any idea how much screaming is in my head as a historian? And I'm looking around you, and I'm going to repeat my theory for anyone who's interested in this. So if you take modern day and you take World War II, okay, look at the thing, okay, the big evil on the block back then was Germany. What was Germany doing? They were going to war with nations around them. They were killing a bunch of people, including their own people.
Right.
Well, what is their equivalent to today? China. What are they doing? They're going to fight. They're killing their own people. They're chomping at the bit. They're taking everything they can, and,
Well,
they're
so
trying to
far
see.
they're doing a lot of threatening, but they haven't yet expanded out.
Look at the Uyghurs. Look at the Christians. Look at the Tibetans.
I'm talking about they're threatening Philippines. They're threatening
Taiwan and all that stuff.
Vietnam. They're doing a lot of threatening, but so far they haven't tried to expand out.
Yeah.
So far.
Now, let's continue on with this theory.
Taiwan.
Yeah, let's continue on with this theory. Okay, so if Germany is, or if China is Germany, or if Germany is China, then what is to the opposite? So the opposite of Germany back then, who was the biggest, baddie on the block? It was the United Kingdom. Before we flexed our industrial muscles, before we really got into moving and shaking, it was Britain.
Part of World War II.
They had the biggest navy and all that
the
stuff.
biggest kid on the block.
Now,
next to Germany.
Now the same thing. Now this is where it really gets spooky. Okay, the same thing can be applied to us. Modern day, it's the U.S. Okay, so if today's Germany is China, then today's United Kingdom is United States.
Yeah.
Now, what happened with the United Kingdom back then? They had a guy called Winston Churchill, who they got out of office, and then they brought in this guy called Neville Chamberlain, who kowtowed and allowed Nazi Germany to do everything that they did.
Right.
Well, what has the U.S. done? There was this guy called Trump, and they got him out of office, and they brought in some guy called Biden, who's allowing China to do everything that they're doing. What happened to Neville Chamberlain? What's going to happen to Biden? History is mirroring itself to a T. Oh, he got voted out.
I thought you were going to tell me. I know he didn't get assassinated.
No. He got voted out, and then they brought Churchill back.
Yeah.
Well, what's going to happen now, especially after what happened yesterday?
Yeah.
As a historian, I'm looking and I'm seeing, it's not history is not repeating, but it's mirroring itself to such a T. It's frightening.
It's amazing what history does.
It's frightening.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm in hysterics because I'm watching it mirror. So oh my God, it's the exact same thing is happening.
Yeah.
So who's gonna be the equivalent of the United States? Who's the next up and coming industrial powerhouse?
Possibly India.
India. So yeah. Anyway, let's get back onto the show here. 1941, Jam was 1941, ceasefire of Joan of Arc ended combat in Lebanon and Syria. Okay, that's weird.
What?
Yeah, 1941, ceasefire of Joan of Arc ends combat in Lebanon and Syria. So it has to be some kind of the name of the Operation Joan of Arc or something. Obviously, that's nothing to do with.
She wasn't around then.
Very much no. And also, in 1941, jam was rationed in Holland. For the
that
war
was a big
effort.
deal. The English love their jam.
Well, Holland is not England.
Well, that's true.
They're on the other side of.
True.
1942, the first transport of Amsterdam Jews to Westbrook. Yeah. No. And at the same time, riots against Jews in Amsterdam. So, like.
Groupthink's a powerful thing.
Yeah. And look at what's happening to us because of, certain things.
Yeah.
So,
it's groupthink again.
Yep. 1945, the battleship USS South Dakota was the first U.S. ship to bombard Japan.
Ooh.
Yeah. In 1946, Cleveland's Lou Boudreau hit 4 doubles in a home run, but Red Sox won 11-10 on Ted Williams' third home run with 8 RBIs.
Sweet Lou will do.
Yeah. 1946 as well, Dr. Benjamin Spock's Common Sense Book of Baby and Child Care was published.
Ah,
Okay.
Spock.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the
No,
Live Long and Prosper guy.
No.
But...
Yeah, no.
Which, like, it's funny, like, I just did this on screen.
Knows, yeah.
What's really interesting is I used to, I'm not as good as doing this, but I used to be able to do this a lot better, and I literally trained my hands, like, for hours a day I sat in class doing this.
That was time well spent.
Well, now I can do a double.
Yeah, now it's well spent. Oh, boy, that's the way to go.
Now let me show you something.
I'm proud of you.
No, you're not. Now let me show you something. Now do this with your right hand.
No, I got too many problems with my
Okay,
joints.
can you do it with your left hand?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you get on camera here. Let me show you something. Okay. This is called a Ninja Turtle handshake. You want to know why?
Yeah, they don't have all the fingers.
Yeah, no, they have 3 fingers. So
Yeah.
this is the Ninja Turtle handshake. No, split. The thumb goes in the crevice. Like this. So.
Only you would know that.
Well,
Ninja Turtles, of course.
Ninja Turtles. Hey, arrows in a half shell. What can I say? 1946 as well, Kiel's pogrom, mob of civilians, police, and soldiers investigating false kidnapping allegations attacked Jewish Holocaust survivors in Kiel's, Poland. 42 were killed, with an additional 40 and more injured. How the hell can you attack Holocaust survivors? What the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm sorry for my language, but seriously, how can you sit there and attack Holocaust survivors? Like, how can you attack anybody? Like, survivors or not, like, it doesn't matter. If you don't believe the Holocaust, was something, then fine. You may be wrong, but you're entitled to your beliefs. But you're not entitled to acts of violence against another human being. It doesn't matter.
No.
Like, that is, wow. Not just civilians, police and soldiers.
The hate was still there, big time.
Yeah, well, that's why they made Israel. 1950, R.E. Wayne awarded first Distinguished Flying Cross in Korea. So, all right. And we also have, in 51, we have the first color telecast of a sporting event, CBS Horse Race.
Color TV.
Yeah, of the sporting event specifically.
But you had to have a color TV to get color, so
yeah.
How many people saw it in color?
Yeah, and actually, let's see if I can find this video really quick. Color. No, that's not it. Hold on a second. Is it in downloads, maybe? TV. I had the video somewhere. Would it be in GIFs maybe? Oh well, I can't find it. But anyway, and I mentioned this before. Pardon me, but there's a video out there that shows, the various nations the moment they switch to color.
Oh.
There's one of them where it's in black and white.
Yeah.
And the guy's talking about it, blah 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 blah.
Then,
I push this button.
I remember you showing that.
And then it flips into color live.
Yeah.
Can you imagine sitting there watching it go from black and white and then transition into color?
Yeah. And I would say that's 51. In probably 57 or 58, I went all the way up to my friend's house one night to watch Bonanza that was in color, and they had a color TV.
Nice.
The only one that had it. And this box was so huge for a color TV. And watching something in color on TV was just awesome. I
Dude.
remember doing it.
Dude,
That's
I remember
how impressive it was.
I remember like TVs in the '90s and stuff were still big and everything. Like the old TV that you used to have in your room. You know, the last from the last TV from the old house.
Yeah, yeah.
Required 2 people to move the damn thing.
Oh God, that was.
I think it was 50 pounds at
that
least.
was the heaviest TV that I've ever had. That thing was a monster.
Well, what about the one we got from my aunt? Like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, that was a big.
It was bigger, but it wasn't heavier.
Huh. Anyway, also in 1951, in his last race, 1948 Triple Crown champion Citation won the Hollywood Gold Cup by 4 lengths to become American racing's first millionaire horse. Okay, United States Racing. Okay.
$1 million in
yeah.
Yeah, in
winnings.
Winnings, thank you.
Yeah. 1952, U.S. ocean liner SS United States crossed Atlantic Ocean, returning to New York in Westwood record time, 84 hours, 12 minutes. So it broke both records from, traveling the Atlantic from one side to the other.
Was one record.
No, they have a record, because
way and then back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, round trip, that's its own record, yes.
Yeah.
But there is a record because of the ocean currents.
Both ways, then it's going to be a round trip record also.
Yes, definitely. So 3 records technically.
Yeah.
1953, first U.S. national monument dedicated to a black U.S. citizen to preserve the boyhood home of agricultural scientist and inventor George Washington Carver in Newton County, Missouri. Yes. Inventor of peanut butter and many other, like hundreds.
He is now my hero. Inventor of peanut butter.
Yeah. 1954, we have a state record here, 117 degrees Fahrenheit or 47 Celsius, East St. Louis, Illinois. That's hot.
That is, especially you kick in St. Louis, Missouri humidity.
Oh man, I wonder how many people died.
Yeah, they have a lot of air conditioning then.
Yeah. We have another one here, 118 degrees or 48 Celsius. Now this is a weird name for a city or a township or whatever the heck this is. Warsaw and Union in Missouri.
Huh, Warsaw, yeah.
But well, would that be 2 cities, Warsaw and Union? I guess.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it would be.
But would that be would this be the name of one settlement, Warsaw and Union?
I don't know why could be.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm checking to see if we have any comments. We do not. 1955, 2 people were killed in many days by lightning strikes at Ascot Racecourse in England. Yikes. He got hit by lightning at a race.
Yeah.
Oh. 1958, Pope Pius XII published his 39th and last encyclical, Memnisi Juvat. What does that even cover? Let's see this here. Memnisi Juvat, okay. Asking for prayers for the persecuted church in the East and criticizing harmful cultural developments in the West, he asks for a novena of prayer preceding the Feast of the Assumption. And novena is an ancient tradition of devotional praying in Christianity, consisting of private or public prayers repeated for 9 successive days or weeks. Okay, so...
Hopefully not by one person.
Well, yeah.
Obviously not.
1959, USS Long Beach, the first nuclear-powered cruiser, was launched at Quincy, Massachusetts.
What is that again?
Nuclear-powered cruiser.
Cruiser. What's a cruiser?
It's a type of ship.
Okay.
Like, there's destroyers, there's cruisers, there's battleships, there's aircraft carriers.
Yep. Of course. Just didn't ring a bell for a moment.
Yeah. Let's take a look at this boat here. USS Long Beach, 1959. Because there could be a different Long Beach today. But yeah, this guy right here. First nuclear-powered cruiser.
That's amazing back then.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Oh, 59, that's about right.
That's a long time back.
Well, we discovered it in, 45?
Yeah.
So...
Should have gone to solar.
Huh. Yo! Well, speaking of solar, what's really interesting is that scientists are figuring out, like they're basically reinventing the sail to reduce carbon emissions, with shipping. They're bringing back wind capture devices.
For trucks and things?
No, for sails, for shipping.
Oh, shipping, okay.
For boats.
Okay.
Like, they're bringing sails back to cut on emissions. I mean, like, it
Wow,
works, but your Amazon package is going to be a couple weeks late. You
Duck
know?
when that sail flips over to the other side. Duck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yo, King, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well.
Yeah,
How you doing, Golden Loon here?
yeah.
I'm doing alright.
Yeah, did you have us on Deafin? I was trying to talk to you for like 10 minutes before the show, and you were just browsing Facebook and everything.
Yeah, I was talking with my friend, sorry.
Ah, okay. Yeah. We're up here in 1960, if you want to catch up.
1960. Let me see here. Fast forward here a few years.
Yeah, fire rages.
19...
I need to stand up anyway. So.
1960 fire rages through the Guatemala City Insane Asylum, killing 225 and severely injuring 300.
Yikes.
Ooh,
That's not good. 63. Ooh, here.
1963, 50th Tour de France, French cyclist Jacques and Michel wins his third consecutive general's classification event. First rider to win Tour 4 times. Well,
now, the Lou was unfortunately out of the room when you said that, so let me give him a recap. So, we have the 50th Tour de France in 1963.
Oh, yeah.
French cyclist Jacques Anquetil won his third consecutive, so third time in a row.
Yeah.
General classification event. First rider to win Tour 4 times. Okay? Now, what happened the next year?
And in the next year, 1964, 51st Tour de France, Jacques Anquetil of France wins fourth consecutive tour and is the first to claim 5 titles.
Yeah. I think Lance Armstrong broke all of that. They took all his titles away.
Yeah, because of his doping and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he is like proof in the pudding that you don't need a lot of balls to do that.
God. Move on, please.
Nope.
What can I say? Low-hanging fruit.
Oh, God. Where did this show go?
Straight to the scrotum.
Oh.
What do we got here? Another 1964.
1964 MLB Baltimore Oreo Bob Johnson 6th straight hit as a pitch hitter.
That's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. As a pinch hitter,
Oh,
6 straight hit too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like that's in a row, right? Like,
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if he's a pinch hitter, then it's probably multiple games.
Yeah.
If he's a true pinch hitter, be all different games.
Yeah. Moving on up to 1965, USS Mariner 4, the first Mars probe, passed at 6,100 miles or 9,800 kilometers. I assume Mars, because it's a Mars probe. It's not a lander.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah. But like, I just, I don't know how you can sit there and call it a probe when you're not, like landing on something or whatever. But I guess you're just technologically or like superficially probing something.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, the camera cuts off like right here, so if you don't want to be on the camera, like I don't mind if you're on the camera.
Other than I'm rocking in and out, probably. I don't care.
Well, I don't care. I just want you to be aware for your privacy. Hey.
There you go.
1966, Richard Speck struggle-snuggled and murdered 8 nurses in a Chicago dormitory. Yikes! Wow.
Jeez.
What the hell? Like, was he in prison or what was? How do you do this? In a dormitory, like in a hospital or something?
No, it would be
nurses.
To me like
military,
more like a
school
dorm for schools or something.
Huh. but I guess maybe but there wouldn't be nurses in school. They've already done their schooling.
There can be nursing school within a university.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But then they're nurses in training.
True.
True. This is an interesting article. If anybody can figure out more about this, let us know in the comment section. What do we got here in 1968?
1968, Houston Astros Don Wilson strikes out 18, beats Red 6-1 at Roseley Field in Cincinnati.
That's impressive.
Scroll up a little bit. I want to see the.
That's
Here, don't.
yeah, very
do that one.
We will be.
Oh, okay.
I think 1968.
Sorry, I'm talking over. That's not good.
Brave. No, it's fine. Actually, no, we did not. We do not have that in the.
I want you to read that one first. Something specific, and I'll tell you why we read it.
All right, King, you want to take this Hank Aaron one, 1968?
1968 Braves. Hank Aaron hits his 500th home run off San Francisco Giant Mike.
Now, the reason why I wanted you to read that one, because we had earlier Babe Ruth hitting his 700th home run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hank Aaron's the guy that broke his record
Oh,
eventually.
wow.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have you on the show. You know? Now, you know what? I got to add this in right now here really quick. 1968, Hank Aaron will become the guy to break Babe Ruth's record.
Sorry, I don't like to talk over everything.
No,
I
no,
didn't want you to skip it.
No. That's fine. Like
On the same, well, this is when he hit his 500th,
Yeah.
not the 700th.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
he might.
he hit his 500th on the same day.
Babe Ruth got his 700.
Yeah, 700.
And Time said he was never going to be broke. Thank you for bringing it up. That
Yeah.
is, see, that's a tidbit of information.
See, old man talking about living history.
I would have never known that.
Yeah, no,
Ever. Like,
it was
wow.
just a cool coincidence.
Yeah. What do we got here in 69? That's a good year.
1969, Easy Rider, directed by Dennis Hopper, starring himself, Peter Fonda, and Jack Nicholson, is released.
Very easy rider because despite riding motorcycles, their hats never fly off. Like, they are really riding easy. There's no wind resistance.
Yeah,
You know?
Easy Rider was a great, especially it was a low budget movie and it just was a sensation.
I've heard.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, we have two 69s as well. So, two more, if you want to take these.
67 Catholic civilian dies after being attacked by UC officers at Dungiven. Many consider this the first death of the Trouble.
Yes, the Troubles. So, like,
Trouble?
like Ireland trying to become
Yeah.
fully independent.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, like, I've said this before, a lot of people correspond Middle East with terrorist activities. Well, they learned from the Irish.
That's true.
I mean, like, anybody who knows at least a
they
handful.
were really good at it.
Yeah,
They were really good at
Well,
it.
no, but like to correspond this, into popular culture, anybody who knows a couple surface level things about alcohol, we all know about the drink Irish Car Bomb. You get a glass of Guinness, get a shot of Irish whiskey, drop it in the glass, and down the whole thing. That's called an Irish Car Bomb.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that's named after actual explosive devices they put in automobiles that blew up in terrorist activities.
Yeah.
From the Irish.
Yeah.
White people terrorists.
Yeah. Well, the Irish were really good terrorists. They really perfected it.
Yeah. Efficient terrorists, you mean. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't call any terrorist a good terrorist, but...
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that could be misconstrued in the wrong way.
He's a terrorist, but with good intentions.
Oh my god. What else? We have one more 69, and this is interesting.
1969, United States, $500 bill, $1,000 bill, $5,000 bill, and $10,000 bill. Whoever thought that was a good idea. Bills are officially withdrawn from circulation.
Now, what's interesting is that if I have this correct, those bills really were only for banks to pass money in amongst themselves.
Yes.
So,
there's no other need for Mark say, "Can you cash my $10,000 bill?"
I mean, like, Shaq, when he went to Walmart that one time, could have made use of that.
Yeah.
He has the highest purchase in the history of Walmart, as far as I know.
In one day, in one purchase?
Yeah. Like, you know, like
Probably right.
he exceeded $10,000.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like you've heard the story, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I don't remember the numbers, but yeah, I've heard the story.
Yeah. Well, like for anybody who's like interested, it's basically he he moved into like I think it was Florida, like you know right after he got taken by the heat, right?
Yeah,
He was,
I don't know when in his career.
but he moved
yeah.
somewhere, and his apartment was bare. It was like 10 at night or whatever, and he went to Walmart's, you know, bought a whole bunch of TVs, you know, beds, mattresses, like you know, bought everything to fully furnish an apartment.
Yeah.
And the bill exceeded $10,000,
Yeah.
so he used his credit card, and it declined, and he had to call and clear himself. Like, yeah, it's me. It's the diesel.
It's the diesel.
We said that same. Yeah, it's the diesel. I confirm this purchase.
Well, it's so from the home.
Yeah. 1972, Jean Westwood was the first woman chosen to head the Democratic National Committee. Okay.
Okay.
1972, a plate umpire and catcher in a game are brothers. That's a little you know troubling right there.
Nah, not a good umpire, not a good ball player. They don't care. They don't see anything beyond an opponent. Well, it's not an opponent with the umpire.
Well, that's
It's more concerning. I call them balls and strikes, and your brother's behind the plate. No, guy's going to be straight up. He'd never make it to the major league level if an ump wasn't straight up.
Well,
And
yeah.
he's actually going to be more against his brother. Anything that's really marginal, right on the edge, probably going to go against his brother just so no one accuses him. But they're kind of instantaneous calls. Those guys have an eye and a half, and they make that split decision without thinking about brothers, sisters, whoever.
You have a point. You know, I can't argue against it. I would just personally, you know, like not allow that. I'd be like, yeah, it's.
Nah, you can't stop it.
Yeah. But anyway, Bill Haller was the umpire, and Tom Haller was Detroit Tigers catcher. Kansas City Royals win 1-0. So umpire and catcher, not the pitcher.
Yeah, right.
The
Umpire
catcher
and
and the
catcher.
pitcher.
But let's put it this
The
way.
catcher.
If you're worried about that for your brother, you better really be worried about any payola. Because if the guy's going to do it for his brother, offer him a few bucks and look out. So, no.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
1974, Billy Martin was the first American League manager ejected by umpire from 2 games in 1 day.
Doubleheader.
Wow.
And he used to love to go out, and when he was, you know how managers will go out and argue with
Kick
an
the
umpire,
dirt and everything, you
He's
know?
the one that started kicking the dirt on umpires.
Oh, wow.
It may have done, but he is now known for that. You know, it may have been done before, but he's the guy that kind of is known for kicking the dirt on umpires.
You know, 2 games in 1 day. Like,
Doubleheader.
yeah, like, well, you'd think he'd get his act together after the first time.
No, he's probably still pissed from the first game, and something that didn't quite go right, he was out there in their face.
True.
And they didn't want to hear from him again, so it was probably a quick toss.
Yeah.
Obviously all speculation, but
Yeah.
what the hell.
Well, speaking of quick tosses, something that should have been a quick toss, what do we got here in 75?
The Epcot Center, Florida, plans are announced.
Huh. So the plans for Epcot Center.
Yeah.
Restart the music here.
You ever seen the deal on that where with the secrecy they went through to try to buy as much land as
Oh,
they could?
yeah.
It's really
Like,
interesting.
well, so they-
and then to keep the word from going out,
Yeah,
all
so
kinds of weird pseudo companies.
oh yeah, dozens and dozens of like third-hand companies and everything just buying all this land, and
Yeah.
everything,
Of course,
because
it had to be noticed that some people knew something was going on.
eventually, after so
Because-
much land was being
yeah.
bought in the same area, it's just like,
Yeah.
hey, wait a minute, all of these are connected, like
Yeah.
physically,
Well,
they're all
even
next
they
to
are,
each
but
other.
someone's buying a lot of land in the same spot.
Well, no. What I'm
Swampland.
saying is physically,
It's
they're
all swampland.
What I was saying is connected, not like by the same company,
Yeah.
but connected physically. If you
Yeah.
if you buy land here from a company A, land here, company B, company C, company
Yeah.
D, okay, what's going on? It's all happening at the
Exactly
same
right.
time.
Same
It's in the
time,
general
all in
area.
the
They're
same
all
area.
adjacent.
For
Something
swampland? What's going on?
something's happening.
Yeah.
So, and what's really interesting is that the majority, if not all, of Disney World is on the second floor.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what else do we got here? 1976.
1976 Democratic Convention in New York City nominates former Georgia Governor Jimmy Carter for president and U.S. Senator Walter Mondale from Minnesota for vice president.
Okay. I took that out of my my main script because that's a whatever article. I didn't scour it enough, apparently. But you got another one here, 76.
1976 USSR banishes dissident Andre Amalric to Netherlands.
Now,
Netherlands.
now, to me, that's only because that's as well as another article. But to me, that sounds very medieval. I'm banishing you to the Netherlands.
What
There be
amazes-
dragons. You know.
What amazes me is there wasn't an unexpected death.
Well,
That's what's surprising.
Well, there might have
Right?
been later. But I mean, like like the Netherlands,
Yeah,
like the
I gotcha,
like
I gotcha.
the hinterlands, the
Away with you.
like, to the Nethers, to the Shadow Realm, like
The Shadow Realm.
yep. 1977, U.S. House established permanent select committee on intelligence, and things have gotten
That
dumber
wasn't
ever
very
since.
Yeah.
We both said
Yeah,
different
some-
jokes of the same
same thing.
Committee on
Yeah.
Intelligence.
1978, Allen Ginsberg completed Plutonian Ode, blocks trainload of fissile material headed for Rockwell's nuclear bomb trigger factory, Colorado. What? What is any of this? Like, could anybody elaborate on this for me while I'm looking this up?
I have no idea.
Oh,
Oh,
it's a poem.
Oh.
Okay, so Wikipedia is taking its sweet time to load, so I'll just read it right here. It's a poem written by Allen Ginsberg, as it said here, against the arms race and nuclear armament of the superpowers. Okay. So this poem, he didn't physically go and just stand in the middle of the railroad, I don't think.
Right.
But this blocked a trainload of fissile material, headed for Rockwell's
Right,
nuclear.
right.
So it did something. There's an impact on it. Like, as I said, everything you do is significant to some degree.
True.
So never never doubt yourself.
Always a yin and a yang.
Yeah, what do we got here in 1978? And perfect, you're on the show, and so is King. So you guys can explain what this means to me.
What are you talking about?
Well, as soon as King reads,
Okay.
78.
umpire Doug Harvey ejects Don Sutton after discovering 3 scuffed balls.
Now,
Scuffed balls.
scuffed balls. Like,
What it is, you can't, he may have under his cap a little tack or something, and he'll take it and it wouldn't be under his
Crack
hat,
the
it'd
ball.
be somewhere, and he would just scuff the ball a little bit so he could put some more junk on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's called scuffing the ball, putting a little mark, a little ding in it,
Okay.
that he can either grab onto or
To cause some kind of imbalance to
to make it
to-
curve more,
to
break
do
Easy to
something,
break.
whatever it is.
more control
Yeah.
over something that's normally
You want it
wild.
to, yeah, you want it to do. So you're immediately ejected if they find you. Most of the time it's some kind of gel or something on your cap. They'll put
Yeah.
it on there, called a spitball.
Yeah.
It's not really spit, but
Yeah.
and then they'll zip it off the fingers and it'll dance for you. So that's what a scuff ball is. But it's anything you do to the ball, you're gone.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
You got to play that for me today. I haven't seen it in a long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why
That's
is
funny. I
this
don't know.
not living? This is supposed to be living. Am I not live on Rumble?
I don't know.
Oh, now I am. Okay, that was weird. Rumble's been experiencing some weird things lately. Ooh, here we go. 82, pretty big.
1982 musical film adaptation, Pink Floyd, The Wall, directed by Alan Parker, starring Bob Geldof, and written by Roger Waters, premieres at the Empire, Leicester Square in London, England.
Ah,
The Wall is such a great. The whole
that's a
album's
great
good.
album. I love that album.
Great album.
Yeah, The Wall just stands out. The whole thing's incredible.
Now, what's really interesting, and I know I'm not the only one, but there's one set of lyrics that bothers me to an extreme amount. We don't need no education. Yeah, you do. That's a double negative.
Yeah.
So, well,
You do need education.
then you do need
Yeah.
education. So, using slang, he actually made it that you do need education. If you're a
Yep.
double negative means
It's so funny.
we don't need no Yeah, so it means we do.
Yeah.
We don't need no education, therefore you do need an education.
Yep, double negative right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of
Kind
like.
of the point of, he's saying that because it's someone that's not educated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's levels to this.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And we got a big one here. I don't know why this is not highlighted, but King.
1983, Mario Brothers is first released by Nintendo in Japan as an arcade game about an Italian-American plumber.
Yeah, Mario.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't even get me started on the whole thing about how Mario is a genocidal maniac. Well, it's a real thing. He's a psychopath. Like there is one scene where
You're getting started.
Jumped on turtles.
Yeah. 1986, Richard Miller became the first FBI agent convicted of espionage.
Woo, 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 woo. Wow.
Yeah.
Never even heard of that.
Well, maybe that they're trying to keep it under hush hush. So.
Or maybe it just wasn't aware. I'm not going to say one way or another. Could have been.
Yeah. 1987, Greyhound Bus bought Trailways Bus for $80 million.
I remember that, believe it or not.
I do believe it. You were around.
Yeah.
So was I, but not very old.
Yeah.
So. 87 as well, Rookie of the Year award was renamed to honor Jackie Robinson. So that's kind of, mean to whoever won it beforehand. I mean, that's
well, it's the same award, just renamed.
Yeah, but they took it away
Jackie
from whoever it was.
No, I don't know. It could have been.
Maybe
he wasn't a person.
Oh, I thought they took the award away from somebody and gave it to this guy.
No, they renamed the award.
Okay. For a second, I thought it was kind of like a situation where what's-his-face was on, that one show or whatever, and he read, like, the winner of the Golden Globe or whatever, but it turned out to be somebody else.
About that,
yeah, I don't remember who it was or what.
No, Jackie Robinson, the first black player back in the 50s.
Okay, so now it's called the Jackie Robinson Award or something like that. Okay, now I understand. 87 as well, Taiwan ended 37 years of martial law. So 50 to 37, or 50 to 87. So yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So what do we got here in 1988?
1988, 200,000 demonstrate in Soviet Armenia for incorporation of the Nagorno-Karabakh.
What is that? Nagorno-Karabakh. Okay, let's see here. Come on, load. It was a region in Azerbaijan covering the southeastern stretch of the Lesser Caucasus mountain range, part of the greater region of Karabakh. It spans the area between Lower Karabakh and Sayunik. Its terrain mostly consists of mountains and forest land. Okay, so the incorporation of that as an area, people were against it. Okay, that's strange. Whatever. What else do we got here?
1988, WYHY Radio offers $1 million to anyone who can prove Elvis is still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I wonder how many nutters they had call in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still alive, I can tell you that. Ho, ho. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. But, you got 289s here, and then I'll take us into the 90s.
1989, Jesse Norman sings French national anthem, La Marseillaise, at the Place de la Concorde, Paris, to celebrate 200th anniversary of French Revolution.
Viva la Revolution! Viva Liberty! We know one of those
1989, magic comedy film when Harry Met Sally, starring Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, directed by Bob Reiner, and written by Nora Ephron, is released.
Yeah, when Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1992, 386 BSD was released by Leon Jolitz and William Jolitz, starting the open source operating system revolution. Linus Torvalds released Linux soon afterwards, so the creation of Linux, the operating system. Well, we use Windows. You know about Mac OS, this is a Windows operating system of the computer.
Uh-huh.
Linux is another operating system.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a whole third party thing. It's a little bit more command centralized, kind of like MS DOS was.
Okay. Yeah.
So like it's getting more user friendly as time goes by. But for years I've been wanting to get Linux.
Really?
Because I sit here and I'm like, we got to fight the machine, like boycott all these big companies, boycott Microsoft. Oh, well, what's the operating system on your computer? Well, I have no choice.
Yeah.
I don't believe I'm smart enough to utilize Linux. But if I am, or if it ever becomes something that I can use, I will switch to Linux so fast Bill Gates' head would spin. I want nothing to do with his evil. Nothing. And same thing with Mac. Apple and Microsoft, same crap. They're both awful. So, Linux, please become more user friendly so I can get the hell out of Bill Gates' freaking grip. Anyway, 1994, a gas explosion at old age home in Milan. 27 were killed. Yikes.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, well, I guess that just expedited everything. They were already in the waiting room, so it sucks.
Holy cow!
But my heart goes out to them.
Yeah.
But still,
a lot of mother and fathers and grandparents are lost.
Yeah, that's true. No. 1995, LA Dodger Ramon Martinez no hits the Florida Marlins 7-0.
There you go.
All right. Good Sir King, you want to take these 296s?
1996, New York Yankees closer John Wetland sets MLB record 24 consecutive saves.
Ooh,
nice.
That's impressive.
Consecutive.
Yeah. So one after another.
Yeah.
Nice.
Here again, 1996, New York Yankees sweep complete season series in Baltimore for the first time.
All right. And by the way, the reason why I bring the table up and down as you stand is because when you're down there and I'm up there, then the mic cannot hear you.
Oh, okay.
If you're up there and I'm down here, the mic cannot hear you.
Ah, okay.
Like, remember how I'm always like, gotta get close.
Yeah.
Well, how can you when you're up there, like... But yeah, we got another 96 here. We got another Yanks.
1996, New York Yankees sweep complete season series in Baltimore. Wait, I just read that.
Oh, my apologies.
I read the 296.
Okay. All right. Moving on up into 2002, French President Jacques Chirac escaped an assassination attempt unscathed during Bastille Day celebrations. Wow. How relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
right?
God.
It almost happened on the same day.
One day apart.
Yeah, one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
22 years later, but one day.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Huh.
Wow.
2007, Russia withdrew from the Treaty of Conventional Armed Forces in Europe. What a surprise. Not. You want to take this 2008?
Oh yeah, 2008, The Dark Knight, directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Christian Bale and Heath Ledger, premieres in New York.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
What is it wearing?
Have you seen that video of like Batman interrogates the Joker, like the comic one, where he's just like, like I don't understand what you're saying. Is that how bats sound? Is that bat talk? Like, where are they? Don't play games. We got another one here in 2012.
2012 floods on the Japanese island Kyushu killed 20 and displaced quarter million.
250,000. So 250,000 displaced.
Wow.
It killed 20. That sucks. Because here's a rule of thumb when it comes to people dying. Like, if it's 100 or more, then I will put it in. Now, unless it's something crazy, like if 12 people die, if 58 people die, if 72 people die, that sucks. but for the sake of
Right, right.
just I don't want too much in which there already is too much in the show, but so this is in because it displaced 250,000 people.
Yeah.
Like what do you do with
It's
that?
amazing that only 20 died.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that just shows like how ready they are, prepared in response,
are in
for
Japan, for
disasters.
sure.
Oh, especially, yeah. We got another 2012.
2012 suicide bomber attacks a wedding reception and kills 22 people and injures 22 more in northern Afghanistan.
Yikes!
They-
Bombing wedding receptions. What monster can do that? Oh, well,
Okay.
former president of the United States,
Animal,
of course.
man.
Let's
Oh,
not
yeah,
forget,
former
Obama
president.
bombed a
Right.
wedding. Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
That's why they
Obama
call you
drone
all
strike
bomb
the
you.
wedding.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a children's hospital.
Oh,
So,
President Obama.
yep. And he's the one who started, putting all the Mexican kids in cages. But of course,
Yeah.
Orange Man gets all the heat for that. And yeah. Let's see. Moving on up to 2014. After 7 days, Israel had struck Gaza with 1,320 times, while Gaza had fired 940 rockets at Israel. So, see, that's the thing. They, Gaza fired the rockets. None of them hit because of, I don't know. Maybe some did. I don't know. But see, pay attention to the terminology. Israel has struck Gaza 1,320 times, while Gaza has fired 940 rockets. So Gaza was hit 1,320 times, while Israel was not hit 940 times. It was fired at, but
Watch that
intercepted
word.
and all
Well,
that stuff.
if they're intercepted, yeah.
Yeah,
The Iron Dome, as they say.
yeah. 2014, the Church of England voted in favor of allowing women to become bishops. You know what? I'm all for that.
Absolutely right.
I mean, generally, bishop is more of a male position. The women have nuns.
Yeah.
But there's women doctors and there's male nurses. And now there's there's male stewards, not hostesses or hosts. Now there's stewards on aircraft and everything. So the gender boundaries are have been getting washed away, which is I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I don't care if you're a man or a woman. If for example, if a woman is a firefighter, if you can carry my fat ass out of a burning building, I don't give a damn what your skin color is, what bathroom you go to, what you identify. I don't care anything. If you can save my ass, that's all I care about. Be right for the job. Have the qualifications.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. That is all that matters. 2014 as well, the Egyptian government proposed a ceasefire in the Israel-Gaza conflict. All right. What do we have in 2015?
2015 arms deal agreed between 6 world powers and Iran, limiting Iranian nuclear arms, but ending sanctions.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's like that video we watched yesterday. We can't let the poor people have the nukes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The poor kid. We can't
Yeah.
let the poor kid in the neighborhood have the
Yeah.
Nerf nuke.
Whitest kids Nerf nuke, by the way, if anybody's interested in seeing that skit.
Nerf nuke.
I'm gonna get one. Well, the fact that he's even looking for one is bad news. It's a hilarious skit.
We should all team up together and fire 2 Nerf nukes.
Yeah. And then they started beating up the poor kid mercilessly. Hey, can anyone say proxy war? What else we got here in 2015? You got a couple of them.
Harper Lee's second novel, Go Set a Watchman, on early 1957 version of To Kill a Mockingbird, goes on sale in 7 countries.
70.
70.
So wow, 1957 to 2015. That took a while.
Never heard it.
Neither have I.
I've heard it. Heard it. To Kill a Mockingbird, of course.
Yeah. Which, by the way, To Kill a Mockingbird is getting banned. Well, it has been banned. In many school systems, or they're at least talking about it.
Really?
Well, yeah, because the left does not want, the concept of because like you know, like To Kill a Mockingbird, that's the same one with Atticus Finch, right? The lawyer.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
That's the one
Yeah.
where he defended a black guy who was falsely accused of murder or something.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
last thing the left wants is a black guy becoming innocent. You know, like they're
I'm not gonna
hey,
agree with that.
they invented the Klan,
Okay.
so I mean, hey, if the shoe fits, so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you know, like why else? Like you know, what in that book can possibly be bannable?
I don't know. You know, it's been
Like-
so long since actually I never read it. I just saw the movie
And,
many years ago.
What's that
Yeah.
book? Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That book's fan too.
yeah, not surprising.
True.
Moving on up into 2018, civilians were killed in the Afghan war, reached a record high with 1,692 killed in the first 6 months of 2018, according to the UN. So 1,692 civilians killed in the first 6 months of war, just collateral damage,
Yep.
you know?
Unfortunately.
Or as you know, some military commanders would say, acceptable losses. Absolutely appalling.
One is not acceptable. Nothing's acceptable. That's not acceptable.
War is not acceptable.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
sometimes you have to. Sometimes there has to be war.
Well,
I mean, if someone's shooting at you, what are you going to do?
well,
Say welcome?
there's this one scene, like,
I agree, but when was our last legitimate war?
yeah,
I'm sorry, say again?
I said I agree with what you're saying, but then again, when was our last legitimate war?
Okay, yeah, fair enough, yeah. You know, there's always a way around war, I think, but history kind of shows us that maybe, well, think of Hitler. Could you have stopped Hitler
Yeah,
without bullets?
history's just different for sure.
You know, so, I mean, I hate war. You know, I lost a good friend in Vietnam.
mm-hmm. Now I wanna play this. I'd love to play the entire scene because this is a very powerful scene. But at risk of copyright crap, I'm just gonna play it from here. I want you
Doctor
to,
Who.
yeah, I want you to pay attention to what he's saying here.
I forgive you after all you've done. I forgive you.
You don't understand.
Are you kidding me? Of course I understand. I mean, you call this a war, this funny little thing? This is not a war. I fought in a bigger war than you will ever know. I did worse things than you could ever imagine. And when I close my eyes, I hear more screams than anyone could ever be able to count. And you know what you do with all that pain? Shall I tell you?
Hold on a second. I'm trying to
This.
find.
No one else will ever have to live like this. No one else will ever have to feel this pain. Not on my watch.
Well, I can't seem to find exactly where he says it. Actually, we'll just.
You don't know whose children are going to scream and burn. How many hearts will be broken? How many lives shattered? How much blood will spill until everybody does what they were always going to have to do from the very beginning? Sit down and talk!
Right there.
Okay.
Because what happens? We talk at first, things break down, we go to war, and what happens with every war?
Sit down and talk, yeah.
So why are we killing each other?
Yeah.
What's the point? It's so moot. What's the point? We all end up in this inevitability anyway. Let's just skip a few steps. Let's just stop the killing. It's not that hard. Yikes, people. Come on.
And yet it's extremely hard.
Yeah, for
I
stupid
agree with what
people.
you're saying, but it's shouldn't be hard, but yet it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on up here. What do we got? 2018.
It's like back in
Go ahead.
the day when the king had his troops go to war, he went to war with them.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
As I said,
it's not even a second thought for him to send the peons, you know?
if you lead people, then lead by example.
Right.
If you send people out there to fight for you, well, fight
You should
for
be
your
coming
own
with
happy
it.
little ass self. You know, if you have people out there fighting with you, fine. But if you have a problem, don't send other people to go out and solve it for you. Be a human. You know?
Yeah.
Go out there and solve it. You know, you can do it with other people on your side, but if you sit back and don't let other people do the fight for you, then you're a coward. Nothing more than a coward. You know? Anyway, moving on up into 2018, huge iceberg looming over Inarsut village, western Greenland, prompted evacuation in case of calves.
Case of what?
Calves? Caves? Calves? That's a weird. That's a weird word. Calves? Like, isn't that like the leg muscle? Calves? Like,
I don't know what that is.
why is the internet not working? So, come on, search. Oh well. There we go. Well, yeah, it's talking about the
Leg. Okay.
Leg. Okay.
Calf.
Weird.
Calf I would have got.
In case it, well, I guess calf.
Plural.
Like in case it.
Must be plural. Cows must be plural.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Anyway, 2018 as well, more than 300 people now reported killed in protests against government of President Daniel Ortega in Nicaragua.
Oh yeah, there's a dandy guy for you.
I don't know really much about him. Like, can you give us an abridged
Well,
explanation?
no, I can't give you a whole lot. He's just power guy.
So a
You
dictator.
know? And yeah, kind of took away democracy, blah blah blah. You
Yeah,
know, all
okay.
of that.
So
Took
dictator.
over all the oil wealth.
What do we got here in 2019? We got an Ebola king.
First Ebola case in Goma, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. City of 1 million as full of outbreak reaches 1,600 victims.
Wow. Ebola. That's a oof.
Yeah,
That's a scary disease right there.
yeah.
I mean, like, now granted it was science fiction and stuff, but like, you know, there's this, you know, one episode that scares the hell out of me of Cowboy Bebop as an anime, in Japanese animation and everything. But like, while they were trying to figure out, because there's this one character, Jet Black, who was incapacitated, they're trying to figure out, you know, what disease he might have, and they're, so, you know, going through the database, and one of the things was like, the guy read off Ebola, and the guy's facial reaction was like, oh shit, you know? So like, even in the future, if Ebola is so scary, then it is that much more scary. You know, if they have space travel and warp gates, but Ebola is still a problem, then what is it today?
Yeah.
Yikes! You know? So, and here we go. Another 2019. Talking about the man himself.
Good old President Donald Trump. He's gonna be president again. Get used to it.
Yeah.
Ignites racial controversy by tweeting 4 Democrat women of color to go back and help fix the totally broken, crime-infested places which they came.
Now, funny how the basis of that argument is only because he's white. You know, they're going after him for saying that because he's white and they're black. They're not.
Yeah,
They're, you know,
explain to me how
he's
you're
staying
wrong.
on the level like, you know, oh, go back to, you know, the people that you represent and fix the shithole that you made.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he's saying racist things.
Yeah.
Why? Aren't you being racist by attacking him, you know, in that way because of the color of his
They're
skin?
racist because they're interpreting it.
Yeah,
The way they're interpreting
exactly.
it is racist.
Exactly.
It's not what he said. It's the racist is the one interpreting it
Yeah,
that way.
exactly. Exactly.
So yeah.
You know, hypocritical numbskulls. A lot of them, the left. So, moving on up into 2020, new study showed Andean condor, world's heaviest bird, can fly for 5 hours without flapping its wings. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Well, yeah, if it gets a good enough gust, you know, it doesn't need to flap.
Sure.
You know, I mean, gliders don't have an engine.
Right.
You know, if you get them on a good enough momentum, what's the law?
Oh,
you
they
know,
glide around for hours.
yeah.
Yeah.
An object in motion will stay in motion unless acted upon by an opposite force. Well, if you have a stronger force that is a tailwind, it'll never stop. So, I mean, this is, you know, fairly, you know, easy science right here. 2021, drug overdose deaths in the U.S. rose 30% to record 93,000 in 2020, according to the Center of Disease Control.
Wonder if it was a particular drug that came on the scene or what?
Fentanyl.
Did it come on
Yeah.
the scene then?
Yeah, 2021, yeah, fentanyl.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
But,
didn't
you know,
know.
Fentanyl.
2018, 2019, fentanyl was really getting its moves.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, and fentanyl, like, you know, especially, you know, anything coming in from China. There's fentanyl traces on food imported from China.
Really?
Yeah. So
That's not good.
there's fentanyl trace. They discovered traces of fentanyl in the COVID-19 vaccines that we got from
Hey.
China. Yeah, they're trying to kill us. You know? So, and this episode is now flagged for medical misinformation. Ooh. Anyway, 2022, Canadian singer-songwriter The Weeknd kicks off After Hours Till Dawn, his first stadium tour at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. All right. The Weeknd. I've heard of The Weeknd. So, yeah. What do we got? We have 3 more articles. Perfect. Take them.
2022 Canadian songwriter. Wait, who said that? India launches its Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft from the Harkota Space Center and the country's 3rd moon mission.
Oh,
All right,
Okay.
all right, cool.
Yeah.
India's going in the moon. Sweet.
Which,
Talking
by the
about
way,
them earlier about being maybe the next superpower. Maybe.
yeah. Now, speaking of India and space travel and everything, you know, it just reminded me of something hilarious. You've heard of the movie Gravity?
Not right offhand. I don't think it. Nothing comes to mind.
Well, there's a scene I want to show you after the show, if you don't mind. But it's basically it's about like this woman. She's stranded in space. Because like it kicks off with China like launching a missile and blowing up one of their own satellites, which started a cascading series of events. You know, the shrapnel destroyed more satellites, which in turn destroys more. So now we have just this massive, and then so eventually
We have junk killing, just wiping everything out.
So you know, it starts off with this team of astronauts doing some routine maintenance on the Hubble telescope, and then they figured out oh, China did this and all that stuff, and then they see it, and then the whole thing just got peppered and everything. Everybody died except for like 2 people. And everything, and the space shuttle got completely trashed and all that stuff, and it's all about her trying to get back to the surface. She eventually gets to spoiler alert, by the way, she gets to the ISS, the International Space Station, and gets into a Russian Soyuz escape pod, and then the movie ends when she is back on the surface and gets out, and that's the end of the movie. She made it. But what's really interesting is the budget of the movie, what was spent, to about a fictitious space movie.
Yeah.
India spent less actually sending a rocket up there. Like
That makes sense.
like
Yeah.
the movie industry has gone overboard when making a movie about space costs more than actually getting there.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with us? Oh my heavens. So anyway, 2 more articles.
Yeah. Wrap them up.
Yeah. King?
2023 U.S. Actors Union SAG-AFTRA leadership goes on strike with picket lines in L.A. and New York.
Yeah, remember all the writer
53,
strikes and all the going on for
Wait,
a while?
AI's taking over my job. Well, stop being crappy at your job.
Yeah. Yeah, stop with
All
the
I can
DEI
say
crap.
is, guys, look out for AI.
Oh, dude, like...
Your jobs are going to be long gone. You're going to be the buggy whips, of the industry
Dude.
today.
Omni Coalition is a buggy whip.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. So,
Well, not with the bantering. They can't
Not-
replace that.
for now.
For now, yeah.
Until AI somehow figures out a way to do that, that's all we have left. So, and last but not least, what do we got here? Yikes.
2023 U.S. architect Rex Heuermann charged with 3 of 11 possible murders in the Gilgo Beach murders dating back to 2007 on Long Island, New York.
Yikes. Wow.
Vaguely remember something about that.
I don't remember this at all, but 3 out of
I
11.
can't place how I remember that. Just something is ding, 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 ding.
Probably
That's all I
something.
got.
Probably something is filler because they haven't manufactured the next end of the world scenario that they have to report on. Like
I mean, it's not that long ago. Like
No,
1 year ago.
1
so
year
you
ago-
think I would remember something?
exactly 365 days ago
Yeah.
on this day.
Yes.
Like
Unless there was a leap year, which there wasn't.
oh, yeah.
Or was there? It's either 22 or 24, right? Doesn't matter.
Most current leap year. Let's see here. Well, that's going to take its sweet time. So, oh well. We'll leave that to the comments section if anybody wishes to let us know where the leap year was. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. We're not just on Rumble or YouTube, we're also on BitChute and Odyssey and various other places. Check out our link tree out down in the underbar. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day, or try to, at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We do have other shows. We have the Omni Coalition News Show. We did that on Friday. You know, weird, on, and unusual, notable events, weather, and sports every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time. The Omni Coalition Show, which, like, we definitely, like, I know I've said that for the past couple of times, but, you know, a rather interesting event happened yesterday that we have to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, so during talk show, come, you know, check us out, you know,
What
at
time is that again?
3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, so if you want to catch us live, it's on the West Coast, 11 and 3 all for thee, Mountain 12 and 4, watch us for more, Central 1 and 5 for the Contrive, East 2 and 6 for your fix. For all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
Take King's Refuge.
Golden Loon.
And you, viewer, of course, are you. Thank you once again for watching, and until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!